y'all, this is Cindy. I'm the Tireless Tangler. Thank you so much for being with me today. This is lesson 3 in our Tangled Ribbon Flower series. And today's tangle is called Fenglish. It is by Jessica Davies. And it is a cool little grid pattern based on a square grid. And let's get started with the step out. So we're going to start this the same way as we have the others by making our ribbon shape and adding the inner auras, okay? Then let's make some square-like divisions here, okay? So we're going to start with a slightly curved line. Sort of bulges out a little bit from the bottom and slicks into the top corner. Just a tiny bit. Oops. Then we're going to, from the opposite corner, come down from here with the same type of a stroke. So tied in and then bulges out a little bit, okay? So down and out. Ooh, I'm not sure that's a good explanation for this, right? So we have this. Then we're going to aura the inside of this. And as you guys know, an aura is a parallel line to a line that has already been drawn. And mine are sometimes parallel and sometimes quasi-parallel. But I try hard, don't I? I think we all do. All right. Okay, and now that you've aura'd the underneath or the bottom side of all of these, we're going to turn our tile and we're going to aura this space right here, okay? And if you do a careful job, which, you know, it's me, you should have some pretty cool visual effects, okay? So this is your basic tangle, all right? And let's talk about some embellishing ideas that we can do for this. Quick side note, guys, I drew this step out wrong and filmed it wrong and then redid it again correctly. And so, but these embellishing ideas still are valid. So just forgive that and go with me. In many of them, she fills this with more auras. Okay. And then, let's see, what does she do? Once you get this far, then you can do something like this. You can, you can check one of your sets of aura lines. This is a very common border type of a fill thing that you can do if you draw on your patterns an extra aura or extra 2 or 3 auras. You can do this technique on those. Like this, which can be used to great effect. Let's see what else she's got here. Oh, this one is nice. On one, she has, let's see, she has this blacked down here, or inked, more correctly. Which would make this really dynamic. In particular, I am trying to choose ribbon or square grid patterns that are going to translate well into our flower. And I think that because you can decorate this how you like and do it in a very simple way, that makes it fun. She's got orbs in this middle section. And then inking it in all the little interstices, of course. No, sort of not a good example, but you guys get the impression that I'm trying to leave you with, I think. So there's lots of possibilities to play with this. And let's see what we come up with. Today, I'm going to show you a new ribbon technique. Although it's really similar to the last one. We're going to learn how to do what we did first, which was this type of a ribbon, which folded outwards, right? So today I'm going to show you these inward folding ones, which are very similar in construction to these. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so the first ribbon that we learned to do was this J shape, right? And when we came down to this end, we made a tongue out of it that came around, right? And then we brought this straight or slightly curved around like this. This was the first one, right, that we did. It's a little misshapen, but you guys get the idea. So today we're going to take this same start, but we're going to turn that fold around so the fold looks like it's on the back side, all right? So we're going to start that by making a J shape just like this first one, all right? But instead of curving out with this, we're going to curve in, so like this, okay? And that can either show this side, depending on how wide you want this. Now at this point, you're going to take your straight line back the other way and then curve it down, okay? So let's do another one. Let's make it a little bit smaller maybe, all right? So J, curve in, right? Straight line out from the top and just curve down. All right? Then this is folded like that. Right? Let's do another one. J, curve it in, straight line over from the top and curve down. So not too hard, right? It's very similar to what we were doing before, okay? Now, in the next lesson, we're going to take this same concept and then we're going to make a spiral out of it. So we're going to do a curly Q on the ribbon. But not today. Don't worry about that today. Let me get my ink pen and draw a couple of these in ink so you can see them better, all right? So I'll take my time on these and try to do a better job. So J shape. Okay. And if you want to, you can do the other side first. It doesn't matter. But depending on how you want this to look and how thick or thin you want it, just curve it around. Okay. Then come over from the top. Curve and down. Now, if you'll notice, we want them to get larger. So from a narrowed point to get bigger. And so sometimes it might be easier for you to draw your J and leave that unfinished, then come over here. And then you know how wide you want this ribbon. Okay, and so if you've made it this way, you're not going to want to show the whole thing or have it covered up. And you can adjust it in this way. Okay, you can make it long like we did the other day, just like this. Okay, we could even do this or in this case it'd be more straight over. Finish this, and then you can, you know, ribbonize this whole thing. If I can't get my angle right, but I'll show you that as we move forward. So something like this is possible. So this concept of folding these inward and outward can translate into so many other different things. So if you can get this concept of the J shape out, whoa, that wasn't very good, was it? And the J shape in, then you've got a lot of the ribboning thing, okay? The other thing to pay attention to on these is, besides the J shape, is the shape of the top as you come across. It's going to be not be exactly straight, because some of them, like these, are going to have some curve in them, but it's going to be straightish, right? You're going to be representing the top of the ribbon as it curves down. And when you see that visually, you'll notice that the ribbon top is still a flat surface, basically, okay? Unless you've got gathers or something. We're not going to do gathers in this. That's asking too much from me. All right, so this is our ribbon form today. Let's get a tile and let's put our Fenglish on a tile with some ribbons and see what we come up with. How fun. All right, so on today's tile, I'm going to do it similarly to what we did last time. I'm going to set up in traditional Zentangle fashion by starting with a dot in each of my corners. Now, I'm not very good with the dots. I always get them uneven. But I'm going to leave my borders pretty straight today. For me, this is doggone straight. Boy, that's... I do like a challenge, apparently. That's a lot of the reason I leave the dots off so often. Okay, so this is our basic area that we're going to fill today. Now, I'm going to try not to make my elements so large today because I'd like to fit a forward and a backward on here. But I'm going to focus on the backward one. So for drawing a backward one first, I'm going to do, I think I'll make my J this way and curve it in, then flat across. I'm going to go ahead and make this a decent size. All right. And over here, I think I'll do another one just like that. So then over here and down, okay? And when we ink these, if we need to make adjustments to the tops or whatever, put some curve in there, whatever we need to do, we can still do that, okay? That's a bit of a sharp turn there, but it's all right. And we don't see the other side of these, okay? So this is going to be my string for today. And I am going to put in our pattern, which is Fenglish. So I'm going to start by defining my pencil lines with ink, basically redrawing them. Let's see. Okay. All right, that's not too bad. Okay, so now I am going to put in my inner aura, which, as I told you guys in the beginning, is one of the most important steps for this, for all of them, because this brings separation between this section and the section next to it. Since we don't know what's going to be going on in there, it might be busy, and so we definitely want that. Now, I'm doing a less than perfect job, but that's okay. It's not wrong. It's just not what I had envisioned for my line, but that's all right. Okay, so I'm going to be pushing out today, apparently. I mean, with my pen, like in this, pushing it out away from my body. Okay. All right. So that's that one. Let's turn this over and do this again. Remember, the auras should follow the curve of the line. All right, so when this gets up here, this is where this switches over. If you're shaky like me, try lifting your pen when you start to feel out of control. When it starts to feel like you can't control it anymore, that's when you want to lift up. And I also mentioned before that if you guys have trouble with your lines matching up when you lift your pen, then just leave a tiny little gap there. I frequently do that. All right. So here's where we're starting. Let's see. Trying to think how far. All right, so let's start with the outer edge. That's less complicated. All right, so I'm going to square these up. Hopefully squarish. Simba is snoring. He had a vet visit today. He's got a wound in his paw, so we've got to give, and it's infected, so we've got to give him antibiotics and all of that good stuff. All right, so here's our first line. I'll turn this step out over so I can see it clearly. All right, so we're going to start with that slightly curved line. And again, you can make that straighter. This is my own personal preference. And you guys know how I am about lines. So they should all be curved, right? Okay. So let's do this coming down. Okay. And now the inner aura. And I'm leaving it fairly thick, although not intentionally that thick. Okay, That's our first step, or a second step, or a third step. I don't know. I'm losing track. Okay, now we need to do the aura on this upper side. So let's do that. And I'm doing that differently than I did. Maybe I did not aura this area correctly. I don't think I did. When I stepped it out, I don't think I did this correctly. So, okay, so now let's aura the rest of this. Whoops. Cindy. All right, so not my best job. That's all right. It's all right. We're going to come back and try decorating on this a little bit later. Let's get this one drawn in and see where we're at then. And my lines aren't very good on that, are they? Yeah, it's all right. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing here. I think I'll turn this 180 degrees and do them from this angle. I don't know that it will make any difference, but it might be good to change it up. Not that much is going to show like this. All right. That wasn't exactly right, but we'll live with it. Okay. So now coming from the top, slightly curved down. I could see these lines. All right, so now the inner aura. Inner aura. All right, so now the upper aura on the other side. And so what I did wrong in the step out was I did not continue this on both sides. So this time I'm going to do that. Okay. And then I'm going to add a third aura, I think, in the middle. All right. Okay, so let's draw in last what's on the backs. Okay, so the way I'm going to do this, let me decide. I'm going to divide this approximately in half, and I say approximately, and I'm going to go in this direction and let that go behind this, okay? So over here, about the same thing, okay? Although that one's more complete. I'm imagining this is ending right here. Okay, so then the top element drawn in. Let's see. Let's come down from there. All right, then the inner auras. Okay. And then, oh yeah, the top aura that covers both sides. All right. And on this, I'm going to put in another one down here. So we have some more embellishing possibilities. And we'll leave that for now. And then let's come and draw this one in. I'm going to handle that about the same way, as these will be getting larger as they go forward. Oops, no. Let's not lose sight of what we're doing here. Cindy. Now we're cooking. All right, the inner auras. Okay. All right, and now the top aura. And then I'm going to add my own extra one down here. And I'm going to go ahead and add one more there. Oops. Well, that's a bit of a mess, but we'll go with it and see what happens. All right. So this is going to be fun. Which variation to use? So I love the one she did with the orbs and all of that. So I'm going to try that. And if you guys are curious about her art, you can go to tanglepatterns.com and check it out. So I'm going to try it. Let's see. Okay, she's got several auras going on in there. Okay, so skip one. So this one will be now I'm really taking my time as I draw these in. Okay. All right, so we're going to do that, and then I'm going to add another aura in here. You can also vary the width that you make these auras, like make this one narrow and this one wide. And then I think she's got one more here, so I need to orb this. If you have trouble getting outside the lines when you do this, try starting your orb on the line and ending on the line. That makes the likelihood of you making a mess slightly less, which is something I always appreciate. Oh, I've got to change my glasses out. I have bifocals, but when I draw, it's right at the angle where it's always blurry where the changeover is. And it's very frustrating to me to draw with these, so I don't like to wear them. All right, I think, let's see, let's add this. And then, I think she has a strip. It's black, and if she doesn't, I do. As much as you may not like inking, inking is going to be a big part of making each one of these flower petals very dynamic. And since we're going to work at them one petal at a time, I think you guys are really going to have fun with it, but you're going to have to be patient and you'll have to be willing to put in some work on this. So let's see, I need to add okay, so this needs one more here. We need to orb here. Okay. All right, and then one more. And then this. All right, so that's pretty dynamic. Okay, now up here I can choose to do exactly what I've done here, or I can do something else. That's my choice. Nancy Pearson asked me about putting different tangles on the backs as on the tips, like in this instance, like using a different tangle on this side and then using something else in here, and that's fine. I don't know how that will play to the continuity of the petal, and so that's something you might want to try before you put it into our Tangled Ribbon Flower, which we haven't started yet. I wanted you guys to be comfortable with the techniques of ribboning before we started the big project, and so that's where we're starting. All right, let's get this done. Now again, I could do this differently. Let's do, I am going to fill all these spaces except for these right in the center here with these aura lines and see what I get. I think this presents some very interesting shading possibilities. So let's give it a try. Okay. Yeah, like that. That'll be interesting for shading. And then, let's see, what else can we do here? I think I am going to, let's see, 3 would be this one. So I wouldn't be able to do that here, but I could do that here. Okay, so that makes it pretty dynamic looking too. All right. Okay, I like that. Let's see. What to do, what to do. Okay, up here, I think I'm going to black these on top and then aura the rest of them in, just for fun. I might black the tops of these. We'll see. We'll see. Ink, I mean ink, guys, because it's not always black, is it? Although in this case, yes. All right. Now, since this is a toned tile, this is a gray tile, I will have those white charcoal pencil jelly roll opportunities that I get with this color, which I love. I'm going to have to get some more Renaissance tiles because those are fun too. You can see why that aura is very important for this. It is going to keep this from getting out of control, hopefully. Of course, I always hope for that. It almost never happens. So it's good to be prepared for the best or for the worst too. There's no worst in Zentangle. There's only awesome and awesomer. Okay, I'm going to have to get to where I can see this better because I cannot see what I'm doing. It's so blurry. Gotta find my other glasses. Gotta. All right, so, okay, so I was gonna fill these in. I could do black on two sides on this. Let's stick with it the way it is. If I change my mind, I can always ink those in. All right, so let's go ahead and finish this one. Holy cow. All right. Let's look at some shading here. Let's look at this whole tile. I actually think it's going to stand on its own the way that it is without adding any extras, but I may change my mind about that. But for now, I think I'm going to leave it the way it is. So let's talk about shading on this. These places, as always, where the lines come together in a perpendicular fashion. Not always perpendicular, but you know what I mean. And again, on the sides where the points are coming in, not on the side where your shade on the line, not on that line. I don't know if that makes any sense. Work with me, guys. Work with me. All right. Now, I'm going to want you guys to start leaving me comments and letting me know what you're struggling with, whether or not this is pretty simple or whether it's hard. Are you having to practice a lot? Am I moving too fast or too slow? I need you guys to let me know what's up so that I can, keep making these better as we go. And so I need to know where you're at as far as the skill level that's necessary, whether or not you think this is tough or easy. Those are all things that will help me do a better job. All right, right here. Okay. So for sure right in there. Now the other place that we're going to want to make sure that we're shading here, and deeply shading, is this area right here where these are overlapping and one is on top of the other. Okay, you really want to go graphite crazy on that so you get a nice dark shade. Okay, also if your items overlap like mine did, you're going to want to really darkly shade that. All right, and then on this here, I may still add a border or something like that to this, but I really like where we're at right now. So let me find my tortillon. Found my smaller one, or my smaller paper stump anyway. So that's good. Okay, I think that's just white charcoal, so I can use it. All right, so let's blend this out just a bit. We want most of the color right there on the line, but we don't want a big sharp line with our pencil. So a little blending is always good for this. All right. Okay. Right. Okay. All right. So this is where I'm at for now, which I like. I am thinking of adding some ink to this one to sort of bring it, make it a little bit more dynamic. And I may do some of this decorating on this instead. I think that might be a good touch. And I think I can work it in with all these auras. It should be easy to do. So let's see where that leads us. Let me see how we're doing on time. I can't even see it. Like 48 minutes. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to add some finishing decorating touches and go around and blend out the shading that I can see. Like I said, I'm having trouble seeing out of these glasses. It's making me pretty frustrated. And once you've gone through once, you're going to want to come through again. Darken all of your spots again. Freshen up the shading. Remembering to stay right on that line as you put your graphite down. All right. All right, so I may add an aura around the entire thing and put something interesting, you know, some kind of an organic whatever in these spots that are extra, but there won't be very many. Maybe I'll put some zinger or a fescue or something muka-y in these. We'll see, but this is where I'm going to leave it today, I think. We've run the video almost an hour now, so I'm going to stop here. And anything else I decide to do, I will put on the members playlist. And so you guys can access that if you want to see the finishing touches. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I hope these ribboning techniques aren't too difficult for you. Be sure and let me know in comments how you're feeling about this, whether I need to slow down or speed up, and whether or not you're getting these fairly easily, or if they're taking more practice and you need more time. So just give me some feedback. Let me know what'll make you happy, and I'll try to give it to you. Okay, guys, I'm going to see you next time for, I don't know, for some more ribboning. All right, I'm going to see you soon. Bye.